Hey YouTube, Tim here. Just taking a quick look at my buddy's 2007 Harley-Davidson Sportster Low. It's an 883. Anyway, it's got a running issue, and I wanted to check fuel pressure on it. And I didn't want to get in here and do anything funky with this fuel line right here. I thought about trying to adapt into it, so I went ahead and ordered a fuel pressure adapter. I don't really care for it because it's got this line here slightly twisted. I may take this fitting out and add another fitting and put a hose in so I can turn the whole thing to take that twist out. But it's not completely kinked off or anything. I just don't care for twisting that fuel line like that. Puts a little bit of kink in it. But anyway, I wanted to talk about it, go over the fuel pressure test. I've got my fuel pressure gauge set up to it. That fuel pressure adapter that I bought looks exactly like the Harley-Davidson one that as far as I can see. And I got it from a company called Hotlicks Exhaust. Flames on command. And it is an adapter to put in your fuel line so that you can run a fuel line out to a solenoid to run fuel to your exhaust system, and a spark setup they have so you can get flames out your exhaust. But they also advertise it as working as a fuel pressure adapter. And it does look just like the Harley-Davidson one. This was, believe it or not, the cheapest way that I could find to go without having to cut into any lines and do anything weird. Although the fuel pressure testers I found were quite expensive. So this adapter right here, it's got a male quick disconnect and a female quick disconnect and then an open fitting to attach your fuel pressure gauge to. And I could have just screwed the gauge in there. I'm glad I didn't. I like to be able to move around and see what I'm doing. But there's my gauge, and this is my gauge that I've had forever. I made this. And it's a pretty cool setup. I got this ball valve here, and right now I have a line in so I can check flow as well as pressure. But I would also be able to do fuel isolation tests with this. I have another gauge and another fitting, and I would put the other gauge on the other side, and attach it in line to my system, get fuel pressure built up on both sides, close my ball valve, and see which side I lost pressure on. If I lost pressure on the tank side, well, then it would be my fuel pump leaking. If I lost pressure on the injector side, well, it would be something on that side, injectors, whatever, leaking. So, but right now I have it set up just so I can dump fuel out of it. And it makes it, I think that's better for connecting and disconnecting. That way I can dump the pressure off and not spray fuel everywhere when I undo the line. But I just wanted to go over this. This was the cheapest way that I could find. And it was, let me see, I'm looking at the paperwork, $79.95 for the fitting. They shipped it through the U.S. Postal Service, and the cheapest shipping I could find was $22.03. So the whole thing cost me $101.98. Came in a very tiny box and went in my mailbox. So the shipping was ridiculous. So keep that in mind when you order anything from Hotlicks Exhaust, that you're going to pay through the absolute nose and other bodily orifices for shipping, which I think is just a bunch of crap. But anyway, let's I think we'll just go ahead and turn this on, see what we got. I've already done this. I already know what I got. And it just kind of confirms me that I got an issue here. Come on, Tim, let's grab the gauge, swing it over here, throw it up here on the seat where we can look at it. My valve is closed, and you see my gauge is in the 0 range. I'm going to turn my key on, turn my ignition on, and it looks like we go up to 20, and then drop right back down. So let's start the bike, see what we get. So that looks like a problem. I believe I'm going to have to double check. I think the Harley-Davidson specification is 55 to 62 PSI, I think. Going to have to look that up. But that was what, right around 25 PSI? So I think that's an issue. Let's, there's one other test I wouldn't mind doing. Let's just see what kind of fuel we got in there. Let's just do this real quick. Put the old fuel bottle on there. Do we even have any fuel there? Huh. We had no fuel there. Wow. So I'm thinking that's an issue. Just wanted to show that, how I checked that. That's kind of weird. This is a brand new fuel pump in this motorcycle. And I have heard of it. It's a fuel pump and a fuel pressure regulator, but I have heard of where the housing inside the tank, where the pump and the fuel pressure regulator go to, I've read that they're plastic and they will crack. And you could literally be dumping fuel pressure inside your fuel tank, just leaking it out there. And we don't seem to be building up enough pressure. I don't like how that line is kinked, so I think what I might do is take this apart, put a hose in here so I can turn that, straighten that line out, and do this test again. However, seems to me that pressure was way too low. I would think that even if that line was kinked, the bike did start, which means fuel's getting in the injectors. I would expect that to push its way through and open that up. And if that kink, if that slight kink here was an issue, I think it would slowly build my pressure up. But let's fix that and retest. Okay.